Mountains may seem beautiful, but they also hide surprises that can leave us confused and surprised. Up on Mount Kilimanjaro, in all its peaceful beauty, something really surprising happened that got everyone talking. Today, in this video, let's talk about the mystery of what they found on Mount Kilimanjaro. It's a story that might change how you see this famous mountain. Come along as I figure out what's behind this amazing recording that has everyone talking. Number 1. Proof of an event mentioned in the Book of Genesis. Researchers examining ice samples from Mount Kilimanjaro have come across evidence that appears to correspond with events recounted in the Book of Genesis. Ice core sampling, a method that involves drilling into glaciers and ice sheets to retrieve samples that could be as ancient as 800,000 years old, has provided scientists with a wealth of information. These samples contain a variety of data, including climate records, preserved fossils, and ancient water samples. Located in Tanzania, Mount Kilimanjaro stands as the tallest freestanding mountain on Earth, reaching an impressive height of 19,341 feet. However, its glaciers and ice caps are at risk of disappearing entirely between 2030 and 2050 due to the effects of climate change. Consisting of 3 main peaks, Kibo, Mawenzi, and Shira, Mount Kilimanjaro has attracted scientific interest for many years. In 2000, a team led by Lonnie Thompson of Ohio State University embarked on a mission to drill 6 cores into the mountain to better understand the rapid melting of its ice. However, the expedition faced challenges in obtaining permission and transporting equipment. The process of drilling and extracting ice cores is complex, requiring careful handling and analysis. Thompson's team spent over 2 years studying their findings before publishing their research, which provided insights into evidence of Holocene climate changes in tropical Africa. The ice core samples also revealed traces of nuclear bomb tests conducted between 1951 and 1952, resulting in the formation of the radioactive isotope chlorine-36. During the study, the scientists were able to figure out something that could date back to the biblical times. For a long time, a story from the Book of Genesis was considered fiction. However, new research has revealed that there is a possibility that those events actually happened. One of the biblical stories states a drought that happened in the African region of the world, and what they found in the samples of Mount Kilimanjaro, the proof is there that a drought actually did happen and lasted for about 500 years. Number 2. Iron Age Sandal. A hiker exploring the mountains came across a surprising find, a well-preserved leather sandal nestled in the ice of a mountain pass in central Norway. This discovery hints at a fascinating aspect of the region's history. The existence of a significant travel route around 1,700 years ago is quite a discovery. The presence of the sandal suggests that during its use, the area experienced less snow and ice than it does today, and that's why people used it as a regular pathway. Radiocarbon dating places the sandal's creation around AD 300, reflecting a style similar to Roman sandals of the same era. The shoe is nothing like the ones we use today, and it shows how the human mind has developed over the years. Number 3. Pjama Castle. Have you ever seen a whole castle inside a cave on a mountain? Well, this one will amaze you. Pjama Castle is situated in the mountains of Slovenia. It has a history tracing back to the 13th century. What makes it truly crazy is its location, ingeniously integrated into the mouth of a cave, giving it a skeptical appearance and an air of mystery. Legend has it that the castle is haunted by the ghost of Erasmus of Lueg, a notorious figure from the 15th century. Erasmus, known as a robber baron, found the castle's position within the cliff cave advantageous for defense, making it nearly impregnable. He also utilized a concealed secret passage to outmaneuver sieges, enabling him to bring in supplies unnoticed. However, Erasmus's fortune eventually turned against him. According to folklore, he was betrayed by one of his own men and met his demise while in the lavatory, struck by a cannonball. Number 4. Cheyenne Mountain Complex. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex is a big government place in Colorado that was super important during the Cold War. It's built deep inside a mountain, making it really safe for NORAD, a group that keeps an eye on the sky for any danger. What's cool about it is that it's wrapped in 2,000 feet of solid rock, like a protective blanket. This was super important back then because it kept the bad stuff, like nuclear attacks, from hurting the people inside. Inside the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, NORAD did all sorts of important things to keep the United States and Canada safe from any threats in the air. They had all the fancy technology to deal with anything that came their way, even big bombs or weird things like electromagnetic pulses. Even though the Cold War is over, the Cheyenne Mountain Complex is still standing strong and is considered one of the safest places in the world. Number 5. Oty The Iceman. Oty The Iceman was a super cool discovery found in the Ötztal Alps, which sit between Austria and Italy. He lived way back around 3100 BCE, which was a really long time ago. Even though thousands of years have passed, Oty's body was amazingly well preserved. Scientists learned a lot about his health and how he lived. Turns out he had some health issues like gum disease, hardened arteries, gallstones, and even had high levels of arsenic in his body. Poor guy also probably had Lyme disease, which was tough back then. What's really neat is that researchers figured out what Oty ate for his last meal: ibex, a kind of wild goat. This gives us clues about what people ate way back then. They also found an axe with him that came from Tuscany, which revealed that people were trading and moving around even in his time. Oty's discovery is a big deal because it helps us understand what life was like in the Stone Age, but it's also a reminder that the mountains truly hold secrets beyond our imagination. Number 6. Headless Man. The Valley of the Headless Man, found in the Nahanni Valley in Canada, is famous for its crazy stories and unresolved mysteries. The creepiness started in 1908 when two brothers, Willie and Frank McLeod, were found without their heads along the Nahanni River. This event scared everyone around and made people nervous about going into the wild there. Then, in 1917, Martin Jorgensen went searching for gold in the same area. Sadly, he ended up like the McLeod brothers, also found without his head. His death added to the valley's mysterious reputation. In 1945, another miner from Ontario met a similar fate. Even though people looked into these deaths a lot, no one could figure out what happened. So the Valley of the Headless Man remains a place where scary stories and dark secrets seem to linger in the air. Number 7. The Diatlov Pass. The Diatlov Pass incident is one of the most puzzling stories in mountain climbing history. It happened in 1959 when a group of skilled Russian climbers set out to explore the Ural Mountains but met a tragic end. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the group aimed to conquer the tough Ural terrain. But things took a strange turn. All 9 climbers died in mysterious circumstances. When search teams found their camp, it was empty and spooky. The climbers' bodies were found with serious injuries, like broken bones and internal damage. Some weren't wearing proper gear or shoes, suggesting they ran out of their tents in a hurry. Even more mysterious, some bodies were missing body parts. Despite lots of investigations, no one knows exactly what caused their deaths. People have come up with different ideas, like avalanches, extreme colds, animal attacks, or even government secrets, but nothing is certain. Number 8. Maiden. The finding of the perfectly preserved Maiden, an Incan mummy, was found near a volcano in Argentina, gives us a special peek into ancient civilizations and how they lived. This discovery helps us learn a lot about the Incas and their way of life. The Maiden's body was amazingly well preserved by the tough conditions of the high-altitude place where she was found. It shows how much the Incas respected their dead. Even after many centuries, her remains still show small details like lice in her hair, reminding us that she was once a living person. Experts studying her have found signs of tuberculosis and other illnesses. This suggests she might have been sacrificed as part of a ritual to please the gods or help the community. Her sacrifice tells us how important religion was to the Incas and what they believed about health and sickness. This discovery is a big deal for archaeologists and historians. It gives them a rare chance to dig deeper into Incan culture and medicine. Number 9. Blackedout area on Kanga Peak. There's been a lot of buzz around a mysterious blacked-out area on Kanga Peak in Nepal, showing up on satellite images and platforms like Google Earth. This has sparked all sorts of theories and debates among both conspiracy theorists and skeptics. One popular idea is that the blacked-out spot might be hiding a secret military base or installation, kept under wraps and away from public eyes. People who believe this point to the peak's remote location and its strategic importance as possible signs of something secretive going on there. On the other hand, skeptics think it could just be a glitch or mistake in the satellite images or mapping software. They say these kinds of errors happen sometimes due to how the images are processed or limitations in the data. Despite the back and forth, we still don't know for sure what's behind the blacked-out area on Kanga Peak. It could be a hidden military base, evidence of aliens, or just a digital hiccup. But whatever it is, the mystery keeps people curious and fascinated with the unknown. Number 10. Coil-shaped artifact. The discovery of tiny, coil-shaped artifacts in the Ural Mountains of Russia has sparked a big argument among scientists and others. These strange artifacts were found while people were mining for gold and are believed to be really old, possibly between 20,000 to 318,000 years. The big question, causing all the fuss, is whether these artifacts were made by people or if they formed naturally. Some experts think the intricate designs and careful construction of the coils suggest they were made by intelligent beings, hinting at the possibility of advanced civilizations way back in history. This idea makes us wonder about what ancient societies were capable of and if they had technologies we've forgotten about. But there are others who say the artifacts might have just formed on their own through natural processes, like minerals building up over time. They point to similar things found in nature and say the coils are just random odd things, not proof of human-made objects. Then there's the most out-there theory, aliens. Some people think the coils are leftovers from advanced alien technology left behind by visitors from outer space. This idea shakes up what we think we know about human history and makes us question our place in the universe. Even though people are still arguing about it, we're not sure yet where these tiny artifacts came from or what they were used for. As scientists keep studying them, we might learn more about ancient civilizations, how technology has evolved, and the possibility of contact with beings from other planets. Number 11. Crystal Clear Lake. The Crystal Clear Lake, called Velkajenkovo Plaso, is in the High Tatras in Slovakia. It's the biggest and deepest glacial lake there, going down 53 meters below its calm surface. What makes Velkajenkovo Plaso special is how clear its water is. You can see down as far as 12 meters, which is amazing. It's like looking through a window into a whole other world underwater. A video of the lake went viral, showing off its stunning clarity. This made lots of people want to see it for themselves. So now, adventurers and nature lovers are flocking to Velkajenkovo Plaso to experience its magic firsthand. Number 12. Blood Falls. Blood Falls is a waterfall in Antarctica that gets its name because its water looks red like blood. But don't worry, it's not blood at all. The water is actually full of iron, which gives it that color. It comes from Taylor Glacier. This strange color happens because of what's happening deep under the ice. Underneath the glacier, there are lots of underground rivers and lakes. Some of these have salty water with a lot of iron in it. When this water comes out of the glacier and flows down as Bloody Falls, it creates a striking sight. Understanding why Bloody Falls happens teaches scientists a lot about how Antarctica's land and ice work together. It's like solving a big puzzle about our planet's icy places. So even though it might seem weird, Bloody Falls helps us learn more about Antarctica's secrets. Number 13. Snakes. Even if you're not scared of a harmless garter snake in your garden, you might still find some snakes unsettling. Ever heard of the northern copperhead snake? It lives in and around the Appalachian mountain range in the eastern United States. This is one animal that one has to be scared of when in the Appalachian mountain range because this snake is one of the most weird ones out there. The northern copperhead is a type of pit viper. It has special organs that help it detect heat, which is super useful for hunting. Plus, it packs a powerful venom in its bite. Even baby copperheads have venom as strong as adults, but don't worry too much. Getting bitten by one of these snakes is rarely deadly for humans. Number 14. Musk Deers. You've probably heard of musk as a scent, right? It's that manly smell that's usually taken from special glands on musk deer. But these deer aren't your everyday white-tailed ones. Musk deer are small deer that live in the mountains of southern Asia. They're part of the Muscus family. What makes them stand out, besides their pricey scent, are the little tusks poking out from the sides of their mouths. It's almost like they have fangs. So what do you think? Are vampire deer cute or creepy? Number 15. Viking Sword. Two hunters found this Viking sword in an unusual place. The sword was found in the Norwegian mountains and likely belonged to a Viking. However, the problem is that no Viking body was found near it, nor was it a place where Vikings lived back in the day. So how come the sword was there in the mountains? Archaeologists believe that it's possible that the owner of this sword had lost their way, and that's when it was left behind here, so high in the mountains. Number 16. Mount Unterberg, the most mysterious mountain. Mount Unterberg in Austria has fascinated many people because of all the stories and legends surrounding it. One famous belief is that Adolf Hitler thought it had magical powers that could give him special abilities. On the other hand, the Dalai Lama saw it as a very spiritually important place, calling it the heart chakra of the world. There are also lots of stories about strange things happening on the mountain, like sightings of ghosts, weird creatures, and even rumors of ancient civilizations. In fact, there are many people who went there and never returned. For example, there were two men who went to discover the cave on the mountain but never returned. Apparently their car was found near the mountain, but the men themselves were never found. These stories have been passed down for generations, making the mountains seem even more mysterious. Since way back in 1738, Mount Unterberg has been linked to all sorts of strange events, like people disappearing or experiencing strange time-related phenomena. These reports only add to the mountain's mystery and make it an even more intriguing place to explore. Number 17. Wyoming River Range. In Wyoming's Wind River Range, scientists made a surprising discovery. They found evidence of ancient camping at a very high altitude of 11,000 feet. This goes against what people used to think about where Native Americans lived. They found a place they called High Rise Village, which had over 75 houses. That's a lot for such a high place. They also found thousands of old objects like tools and pieces of stone. This discovery changed what we knew about how Native Americans lived. It shows they were able to live in places where it's cold and hard to find food. It's like a window into their lives from thousands of years ago. Number 18. Pumpkin Toadlet. In Brazil's mountains, scientists found a new kind of frog called the pumpkin toadlet. It's special because it's tiny and orange, like a pumpkin. And yes, these are pretty unique, but here's the crazy part. When you shine a special light on it, it glows green. How cool is that? But don't let its cute appearance fool you. This little frog is dangerous. It produces a toxin called tetrotoxin, which is super poisonous. Even touching it can be harmful, especially if you put your hands near your eyes or mouth afterward. So, while the pumpkin toadlet might look cute, it's best to admire it from a safe distance. But then there's the fact that these frogs are literally smaller than 2.5 centimeters. Most amazingly, these little creatures are simply bad at everything. They can't properly jump around. Not just that, but because of their small size, they can't balance. How weird is that? Number 19. 10,000 caves. In the Grand Himalayan mountains, explorers discovered more than 10,000 caves carved into the cliffs. These caves, called the Himalayan Sky Caves, hide secrets that go back thousands of years. Some of the oldest caves from around 1000 BC give us hints about why they were made. Some might have been used by monks for meditation or prayer. Others might have been lookout spots, giving people a good view of the tough terrain. And it looks like some caves were even used for storing things, keeping valuable stuff safe and dry. These caves were really versatile, and must have been super important to the people who lived in the Himalayas. They used them for all sorts of things, from finding peace to keeping their things safe. However, there are some theories that state that these caves were actually places of burial. This hasn't really been proven yet, since nothing found in these caves can confirm that a dead body was buried there. But then there's another question that changes the perception that humans built those. How on earth did they reach there? The caves are literally carved in a straight wall of the mountain, and it must have been almost impossible to reach there. Did these people get help from some massive creature or something? Number 20. Charles Kelly's death on Glen Affric. In Scotland's Glen Affric, a hiker named Charles Kelly went missing while exploring the stunning wilderness. Despite the efforts of rescue teams and drones to search for him, he couldn't be found for more than a month. Finally, one of the drones spotted his body, sadly bringing an end to the search. Glen Affric isn't just famous for its natural beauty, it's also full of Scottish stories and legends. One of the most interesting tales is about the Fen, a mythical creature believed to live in the misty mountains. People say it's a huge creature with one eye in the middle of its face, like a giant cyclops. These stories have been shared for ages now, and some even say that this creature might have caused the death of Charles Kelly. And that's a wrap on our journey through the fascinating discoveries around Mount Kilimanjaro and beyond. From ancient ice to hidden caves, each find has its own story to tell. But the adventure isn't over yet. Be sure to stay tuned for more exciting discoveries, because I have a lot more to tell you all about. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep up with the latest updates. Also, press the bell icon so you can be notified every time there is a new video. Let's keep exploring together. See you in the next one.